Hello,
Hi,
and welcome to our podcast called,
Frame Within a Frame Explained. I'm one of your hosts, Tay.
and I'm your other host, Shay. And today we're going to be talking about Flight Plan and My Policeman. I'll go first. So recently, like a couple of weeks ago, I watched the film called My Policeman, starring Harry Styles, and it's like around these three people in this like triangle, it's like a love triangle basically, and it's a gay love story even though I don't know if there's really. But anyway, yeah, around two men who are in love with each other, and at the time the film is set in, which is around the 60s, it wasn't like illegal. It wasn't legal for them to be together. So, yeah, so it's kind of dealing with that type of being in love with someone, but you can't really openly express it, but also having to um kind of hurt someone because in this sense, um Harry Styles like character is like pursuing this woman, um and who ends up being his wife, and it's just like she's she's put into the mix of this relationship and having to be like, what's it called? There's a word for it. Like, see, he has to play like into like the role of being like the straight, um, middle class white man who has like, obviously because he's a police officer. So there's this set of like authority and what's it called? Expectation that he has to be a certain way. Like he needs to be like married and with a woman and stuff like that and everything. So like there was this expectation around the time that these people had to be a certain way, but also um him not being true to himself, obviously, because he's behind closed doors, he's with this man that he says, oh, and the film says that he's in love with and stuff. So dealing with that stuff in the film, and like I would say the film kind of shows us the wife's point of view. I do feel like even though Harry Styles' character is like probably the main character, I do think you see more of the wife's point of view and how like it's affected her and affected her relationship with her husband and affected
Would you
like,
say it's mainly about like her story more than his?
yeah, I would say that because like you really see how um she's been affected and how she sees what's went down through their relationship, especially with this other person who's in their relationship and stuff. Because there's obviously three people in this relationship, it's not just two. So dealing with that, and that's why I felt like um even though I would say it's a gay love story, I don't think it's really about the two gay men, as like even like in the film I had a issue with it because in the film I feel like the two gay men, I don't feel their love for each other. And I don't know if it's just like, if that was intentional or if it was just like how they thought, or how, because like I said, of it being from the woman's point of view, like I don't know if that's how she felt like their relationship was. Like it's just simply just sexual. Like I feel like when you find out someone's cheating on you, you don't want to believe that there's an emotional connection between you and between the person that you love with like that other person that they're with. You don't want to believe that that they could leave you for a genuine relationship, like they could love someone else other than you. So I feel like maybe that's why we didn't see like them, because I felt like I was missing something between the two men's relationship, like as I felt like I didn't see them connect on an emotional level. I only felt like I saw them connect on a physical level.
Physical.
Yeah, so it just felt like I was missing something because I can't see how you are in like infatuated with this person other than simply because it's sexual. And I
Yeah.
feel like when films like these are made, like not obviously nowadays we're getting better with how we represent the LGBT community and how we show gay love and stuff like that. So I feel like even films like there's one that comes to my mind, but I can't remember the name of it. But like a film that I remember watching a while back where these two guys were basically supposedly in love with each other because they were spending time like on them. Oh, it's called something Mountain. I really can't remember
Brokeback
the
Mountain.
Yes, that's it, that's it. Um, where they're in love with each other, but all I'm seeing is just the physical connection. And
Yeah,
obviously,
I
I
agree.
guess even though maybe in the film, but like I feel like as the viewer, you're kind of supposed to picture them in an emotional level where they're like really connecting with each other other than being physical with each other.
Yeah.
And like where there was a scene where they were like where one of the guys were talking about how much they're in love with that person and being like, we can't show our love in public because it's not right, and it's like we were seen as like or like also not the word sinners and stuff like that. Um so like even though he was saying all of that, I wasn't seeing that. So like compared that film to this film, I felt like it was kind of doing the same thing where it's like you're complaining about not being together and being so like in love with each other, but I'm not. As the audience, I don't see that. Like I haven't because the film I think is an hour long or 2 hours long, but in those 2 hours or in that hour, I didn't see them really build like an emotional connection with each other. Like all I saw was just you two banging, and that was it. Like you guys being like really um secretive and running around kissing and stuff like that. Like even like for me, like even though yes, that's one part of your relationship, also need to see you guys talking, connecting, finding similar interests because it's not like I feel like sometimes when we do like when people write gay films and stuff like that, I feel like the only thing that kind of is shown in those films is just the sexual tension between two people. It's never like how these two people really emotionally connect with each other, like how they are longing for each other. But I only see that they just want to bang. Like I
Yeah.
don't. I like
Yeah.
you can literally do that with anyone, and that's really true. You can literally do it with anyone,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really make a difference to like me wanting them. Like I didn't feel like I want them to be in a relationship
Yeah.
because
Did it feel like a
um
forced, like they
it
don't
felt
actually work together?
yeah, I felt like I didn't feel the chemistry between the two male characters. So and the fact that I remember watching like a video about like Harry Styles like speaking about the the gay relationship start the gay relationship between these two men in the film and how
Mm.
he was just talking about oh it's like good sex in the film. It's just like a film about good sex between
Oh, is
two
that what he
people.
says?
Yeah, along those lines. And I'm just like for the actor
Yeah.
in that their own film to be like oh it's just showing good sex, that is already telling someone, even if you haven't seen the film, that's already telling someone that this is not a film that's going to be showing an honest, genuine relationship between two human beings or for me to root for, to want them to be together. It's just telling me, oh, it's just two men boning in a fucking film. Like
Yeah.
I don't really care for that. I really don't care for that because I could literally probably watch exactly a similar film to that set in roughly around the same time or probably a couple of years after do it talking about the same thing, just two men boning and saying that they love each other because I feel like um it's kind of like a stereotype that is just like men just like I don't know if this is probably like a stereotype that is like well familiar, but like people just like gay men just like fucking each other like that. That's all they do, just fuck.
Yeah.
They don't talk to each other. They don't like they don't communicate. They just like
It's all physical.
like I get like it's just like we say like men, like generally generalize men in general being like, oh, all they care about is like burning and fucking till like their brains fall out or stuff like that. And I feel like you're not challenging that stereotype, you're just adding to that stereotype.
Yeah, like this film's already about talking about an LGBTQ couple and
Yeah,
how this man is kind of forced into this marriage, but
yeah,
it's actually he has been forced, but the person he really wants to be with, it's all physical. And I get that a
yeah,
lot of couples, you can start out very physical and you can kind of build on your emotional relationship, but I
yeah.
guess that isn't really shown in the film.
Yeah, because I felt like the film it was so backwards because I felt like for when it was like the two men together, it was mostly just like them being all secretive and being all like playing around with each other and being like um and then sleeping with each other and stuff like that. But then when it came to um the police officer with his wife, it was like I genuinely could feel their connection and how even though I don't feel like I felt the chemistry between each other, like the chemistry throughout the film, I didn't really feel like it's just like two people like just chatting to each other, but like they're not really like connecting. But I felt like between the wife and the police officer, I felt like they connected more because there was an emotional connection. Because throughout the scenes, even though they're not really physical with each other, you can feel that they care for one another in a
Yeah.
way. And I definitely feel like for the wife, like she cared about her husband and she cared that about his feelings, obviously. Throughout the film, she's reflecting back on her decisions, their decisions, and how like how it could have not played out the way it did. And
Yeah.
obviously, I didn't say this, but the police officers like I was about to say side chick. I don't know why I was gonna say that, but he's love affair person um um is not doing so well. So the wife basically moves him in, and it's like causing like conflict between her and her husband because it's like you know I used to be in love with this man. I haven't spoken to him in years, and it's just like you're bringing him back, and it's like bringing back memories that I don't want to like
Whoa, wait, so this like wife has brought into their home like his ex lover.
lover. Yeah,
But does she know that though?
yeah, she knows that. That's the thing. It's like spoilers, sorry,
No, no, no. Yeah.
but yeah. So basically, yeah, like she brings back um, what's it
Okay, do you
called?
think like she brought him back out of like selfless love because she can see he's in pain? Or
I think it's like maybe it's like she's realized the decision that she made when they were all young, and maybe I guess in a way, because obviously she loved her husband, but realizing that the love that he had for her wasn't the same as she loved him, realizing and then maybe feeling guilty and realizing that she's basically stopped him from being happy. Because even though he says he's happy, he's not. Because there's a scene in the film where they're like going to a shop or something and there's like two men like happily walking out together and like they're a couple and stuff like that and like seeing seeing her husband's reaction to seeing that relationship and how in the modern day like you can really go out a street with whoever you love and feel well obviously there's still issues around but generally you can feel safe and
yeah,
there's no one gonna really like the police is not gonna stop you and arrest you. You're not gonna be charged like you did a crime because you know um you're just being you and you're being with who you love. And I think that to the husband is just like if I was born in a different time um then maybe I would have been with the person I loved and not been stuck. Well, I don't know if I really want to say he's trapped or stuck or whatever, but trapped
Mm.
in a relationship because society was
Has
basically
forced him
telling
to.
me, yeah, to be this way.
Mm.
Because like society now, I don't have to be that way. I can be free to do whatever I want. And I feel like maybe the wife's seen that as well and seeing how he kind of longs for that relationship. He feels like basically seeing that her husband envies that relationship, and I feel like she just feels like as as well as he's feeling trapped, I feel like she's feel trapped because she's basically lost her years of feeling truly loved and feeling truly happy because knowing that in the back of her mind that her husband is always going to be longing for that relation type of relationship and he doesn't really want to be in this type of relationship with her. And I feel like that's why I really feel like the film is really from her point of view.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's the intention of the film being from her point of view, not really being from the policeman's point of view. So I've kind of, after realizing that, I've kind of accepted that the film is not trying to maybe not trying to show a bad like relationship because I feel like these type of films really do a like a bad justice to
Yeah.
the LGBT community and like how they portray gay relationships. Because like I said, literally all I could like even though the film was literally telling me these two people loved each other, because I still feel like they did a bad job, even if it's from the wife's point of view. I don't know, but I never felt like these two people loved each other
Yeah.
in the like fair enough that they probably want to like I don't know, but I
Would
didn't
you say
really
that
feel
like the husband and the wife loved each other, or not even then?
I would say they love each other, but not in a platonic way. Not in like how they are now, like how
Yeah.
they're married and stuff. I don't think he loved her in the way of I want to be married to you. Because even
Yeah.
though there was moments where I felt like he did want to be with her, I feel like it was still to tick off boxes and so that
Put the
he could
expectation.
show the expectation of being like a middle class like white male who has a stable job and has a wife and obviously having kids and stuff like that because I think there's a moment in the film where he says I to like his lover being like I can't have kids with you, like you can't provide me kids, so obviously I need
Mm.
to be with
Someone who.
her
Mm.
who's someone who can. And I do think they did have a like have a conversation about them being together because obviously I think they go to a trip in like France or something. Like they go on a little trip together and stuff. And I guess that was their moment where you can show off, oh, they're like having fun, they're connecting and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know how you show love between two people. I don't know. But yeah, um, I just think they kind of missed the mark on like showing these two people being in love with each other because I don't think being in love is just kissing and holding hands and like
It's more.
I
Yeah.
it's more. I feel like I need to see these two people being platonic with each other before they can be like physically romantic with each other because that's all I'm getting. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna stop waffling on about that. But yeah, I think overall the film was pretty much decent. I felt like the acting in the film wasn't like too bad. Um, um, I felt like I did enjoy more of the older characters because it's like set in the past, not past, it's set in the future, but we have flashbacks to the past. And I feel like the older versions of the characters I prefer better. Like definitely overall the wife alone, younger and older, I prefer over the other two. I felt like her acting was really good in both ages. And I
Yeah.
felt like the two guys in the films, I felt like the older guy, there was like a scene like that same scene where I mentioned about like him looking to those two men and envying that relationship. The camera kind of stays on his face for a minute to like show his reaction to it. And I
Yeah.
felt like it didn't really do him justice because I even though I said a bunch of those things, like him being envy, and I'm basically kind of justifying his reaction to it because it didn't look like that. It looked like I don't know what face he was trying to make. He looked like he was angry or something or sad. It was one of the two.
Yeah.
And I just felt like um I don't know what his reaction is, but I felt like his acting was it was decent enough. It was decent
Yeah.
enough.
It was okay.
He was okay. He wasn't too bad. I just don't know. There was just moments where I felt like, as well as his younger part, who was being played by Harry Styles, like I felt like there was moments where I was looking for a certain emotion or looking for a certain way of coming. Like he would say something, and I just didn't fully connect with how he was feeling in that moment. I felt like definitely when it came to I'll speak about Harry Styles in a second, but like when it came to like certain moments in the film, there was like the film wanted me to feel a certain way about something. And like even though I know the film was trying to get me to like feel that emotion, I didn't really it was just like okay. Like I didn't really connect with it like that. And I feel like there are a lot of moments where the film is trying to connect to the audience like a certain emotion so you can like really connect with these characters, but don't I don't really connect with them. I don't okay, I understand, but I don't really when you understand how someone feels, but you feel
Yeah.
like, okay, I don't know
They're
what
kind of at a distance.
yeah, like I don't know what to do about that. So sorry. Um but yeah, when irritating me now. But yeah, I just feel like the film lacked in moments like that. And when it came to Harry Styles acting, before I get hate and stuff like that, like honestly, don't mind the singer. Like Watermelon Sugar High, I love it. It's slay. Um I know he has a more recent album, Don't Judge Me. But
No judgment, you know your songs.
but I felt when it came to acting, especially when he did like Don't Worry Darling and stuff, um it's like when it came to Don't Worry Darling, even though like he was a supporting actor in that, it was like
Yeah.
okay, fine. He wasn't too bad. I can get past it in that. And now that he's put in a more as even though I wouldn't say he's a supporting character in this, even though he's put more into like the more main light, because I don't think there was more like a lot of him in Don't Worry Darling. But even though he's in this one more, I do think he needs to I don't think he should have been put into the role of a main character thing with Jake.
Yeah.
I think for what the film is trying to say and for the fact that it's such a important role and you need to have like a good actor to be able to portray what you want to portray properly. And I feel like just having a singer who hasn't had that much experience with acting before, because he's been in like what's that film he's been in with the
Dunkirk.
oh yeah. Yeah, he's been in that. And I felt like he was in a minor role with it. He was a supporting actor, and
Yeah.
also I remember hearing that he was in Eternals. I still haven't seen that film. Need to watch it. But yeah, he's had like small roles so far, and I feel like that's fine. But to then push him into like this kind of major important role, which I feel like really has to be done right, because if it's not done right, you're gonna get cancelled and shit like that. So I feel like putting him in that role was like kind of a lot of pressure on him, and I feel like it didn't do, and I feel like it just didn't do it justice. I'm sorry to say that, but I mean, if people love his acting and how he portrayed the character, then that's fine. That's not a problem. It's just my opinion. But yeah, I just feel like he needs a bit more time acting, and maybe if he does more, you know, if he gets back into doing acting again, I don't know what
Yeah.
films he's probably gonna be in, but like if he does acting again, um, maybe like just keep in the supporting character role, and then maybe after a couple of films that he's been the supporting actor, he can go back and do like main character roles because I don't think he's just ready for it. Me personally, I don't feel like the emotions that I wanted to feel from his character, I just wasn't connecting because there's a scene where he's just like he gets upset between like there's what's the scene? I think it was all over TikTok where it was like everyone was saying, "Oh my God, it reminds me of like Year 10 drama or something like that." Where he was like talking about his love interest was like saying basically, "Oh, talking about marriage and stuff like that and stuff like around, oh, like marriage is so like a waste of time. This is not 100% like the correct word, so don't quote me on this. But like along the lines of marriage and like he got really angry towards his love interesting. I'm so sorry. But
Okay.
love his towards his love interest and he was like, "Oh, don't tell me I can't even remember what he said. Don't tell me what I'm supposed to do and how I'm trying to remember the TikTok. It's so it's so bad that I forgot it now. Um, but don't tell me da 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 da. And he was like really angry, and that whole scene like blew up on TikTok. And I felt like, oh God, even from seeing that scene, I just knew that it wasn't gonna be that great, was it?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just feel like the film could have like not the film. They could have probably not made him like the main character and like find someone else to probably I mean, it probably wouldn't have changed how I felt about the film generally, but I feel like just maybe don't do that. Like put him in such a role where it's so vital to like get it right and stuff. Um and yeah, overall I feel like I would change a lot. I would change um like I would try and develop the relationship a bit more. And like fair enough that we're seeing from the wife's point of view, and that's probably why we don't see them emotionally connect. Like I said earlier before, like how when someone is cheating on you, you don't really want to believe that that person can truly like leave you for that other person and stuff like that. And you don't want to believe that they've grown a genuine connection like how you've grown a genuine connection to that person and stuff like that. So maybe that's why we don't see
Yeah.
like them connect, or maybe it's just like no, they just didn't. I don't know, but whatever the film's intentions were, I still feel like I kind of wanna just do that relationship more justice because
Yeah.
I didn't want to root for them. I'm just like I don't care. Um
Oh, yeah, you don't even care for the for the main couple.
Yeah, but yeah, I would change that. And I feel like another thing, I feel like nowadays we do need better representation. I feel like I'm kind of tired. I'm so sorry if this offends anyone. But I feel like I'm kind of tired of seeing two white men get together and have their love story and have their moment on screen. I love seeing it in the sense of representation, but I feel like there's so many other people like I'm so sorry, but representation. There are so many stories out there in the LGBT community that are not shared on the big screen, and I feel like we need more of those stories. And fair enough, and just like maybe make it, even though before I say this, there are a lot of films and shows nowadays that are like Heartstopper. There was one on another show on Netflix, but I think it got cancelled now, and it was like First Kill. It was like a vampire,
Yeah,
like
I heard about that. Yeah.
lesbian thingamajig. Sorry, but there was that. There's this other film that I recently watched as well called Crash, with the girl from Girl Meets World was in it. Like, there's many like more modern like there's it's not Love Simon, it's Love Victor, I think, on Disney. Just the name of the list. There's
Yeah.
many representation of like LGBT community that is more modern and stuff like that and more diverse. But I still feel like feel like just for the UK alone, I still feel like there's still more to be done. Obviously, we have sex education with I forgot his name, but with the main character's best friend, obviously. I'm tired of like people of color or just people of the LGBT community being like the best friend of something. Like if you're gay, you're like the best friend of the main character and the main character's like straight or something. And it's just like I'm tired of that. And I feel like we need to do better, and I feel like we just need better representation, especially just for the UK alone. I'm not talking about America because America has its own thingamajig, but like because this film was based in the UK and set around a time in the UK where gay love was illegal and stuff, and I feel like we just need to do better representation and put ourselves more, and hopefully in the future when like we get into like the industry, films like that are being made where equally across the border everyone can see themselves in the media and feel represented in the media and stuff. So I feel like just other than modern, you don't even need to modernize it. You could just probably set a film around the same time, but like do people of
Better.
different, yeah,
Yeah.
do it better and like really like I'm tired of seeing like two people who are in the LGBT
LGBTQ.
community, and it's just like I want to really feel these characters. I really want to connect with these characters. I want to see these characters be like not one dimensional. I want to see the layers to them and stuff like that. So I think it's really important that we see that in media, and I think
Yeah.
um I just think we need new representation, and there's so many stories we need to tell.
So what would you rate the film?
I probably rate the film like a 5.4 or 4 because it wasn't that good. Like, I really didn't enjoy it. And I felt like there was a lot of parts that it lacked in. Obviously, like I said, the character relationships between each other that could do a bit more working on. And yeah, I just yeah, 4.5. A 4.5, a 5.4. Wait, what? A 5.4.
Or is it,
Five,
so does it
no, what was that?
a
Yeah,
4.5?
a 5.5. I'll say 5.5.
5.5. Okay.
5.5 out of 10 and
So
or
does that
four.
mean you wouldn't recommend it to anybody?
Um, I think
Ooh.
no, I don't think I would recommend it. I probably recommend it to like I probably recommend like Heartstopper because I really love that
Yeah.
show, or like any other ones, or like
Just any other
I
film.
yeah, I probably recommend like Call Me by Your Name or something. I think
Mm.
that's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I don't think I would recommend this film unless you like Harry Styles. Then I recommend it to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's my thoughts on the film.
Good thoughts.
So yeah, and yeah, that's my film. I'm gonna stop talking, but that's my film. And what about yours?
For my film, I watched Flight Plan a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it was recently that I watched something on TikTok that kind
Mm-hmm.
of jogged my memory of the whole film, to be honest,
Mm.
where a kind it's not a similar situation at all, but it's more of like a child goes missing and about parents trying to find her and uncover this other thing. So you know
Mm.
on TikTok where you find like a little film or TV show and you have to find parts one, part twos, and all of that. So
Mm.
it's all of that, and I'm trying to watch it and I'm trying to gather what it's about. And, okay, it's about this child. She nearly got kidnapped, but she kind of got out of it, and she ran to her dad to basically say, "This is what happened. We need to kind of get out of here, but call for help as well." So
Mm.
then in Flight Plan, it's more of this mother and daughter are traveling to the States, and this daughter goes missing on a plane.
Yeah.
But like my first issue with the film, to be fair, it's only my first. It's not my well, it's not my first. It's kind of my only one because I like the film.
Mm.
So my only issue was the fact that it's a child going missing on a plane.
Yeah.
Only so many places she could be, and how did nobody else see her? Okay, that's maybe two issues. But how did nobody else see her? Not just the other passengers, but the other workers. It's like it's your job to like welcome people into the plane and be like,
Yeah.
"Hi." How you doing? I hope you're okay. And please take a seat. You're gonna at least see them or jog your memory.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
kind
like,
of weird. How can you not? Especially like if there's like people in front or on the side or whatever. Like when you're on a plane, you kind of recognize who you are surrounded by.
yeah,
So for you to not notice that, oh yeah, there's a child like with this woman, and then the child disappears. Oh my God, like how do you lose a child on the plane? That is just so wild.
yeah,
But yeah, like I don't know how people around the mom and the daughter could not like have seen the daughter and stuff.
yeah. Like it was really strange, but I guess they, for one of the, well, not one, for four of the passengers, they played it out to be that two of them are parents and two of them are like their kids and they're
Mm-hmm.
fighting. So I guess that they're like just wrapped up in their own not issues but their own problems and what they're
Yeah,
solving and how they need to kind of quiet down their kids because it's like maybe 10 o'clock flight and
yeah,
it's like okay, fair enough, that's why they didn't notice, but what about everybody else? And I
yeah. Not
guess
everyone else has an excuse. Like,
exactly.
like
And
you
it's like
should have been able to see the child though. Yeah.
yeah, like it's a child, you're gonna kind of see that, and even when you go on holiday for yourself you sometimes recognize your fellow passengers on maybe when you're because you're obviously traveling to the same location,
Mm.
obviously because a country's so big, depending on where you're going you might actually go to the same place. It's like, oh, I recognize you from the flight, so you're
Yeah.
gonna remember some
Yeah.
people. But
Yeah.
I don't know, that's like my main issue with the film, and it's like, really, you know, when you see, but whatever, it's fine, I got over it quite quickly. But as it was going, it's really it's a dark film, to be honest,
Oh.
because there's not a lot of like main actors in it. Like
Mm.
there's a lot of like extras to obviously fill the plane and all of that.
Mm.
But there's only a handful and it's like the pilot, the mum, and then this kind of the police detective guy.
Mm.
And he's basically traveling, but he's like, oh, I'm a detective. I can kind of ensure that this basically crazy mum is safe and doesn't put anybody else in danger and all of that.
Mm.
I was like, okay, okay, cool. This morally good guy is here to save the day. But then throughout the whole film, it's like, you're a bit dodgy. Like, why? And just it's really weird questions that go through your head because there's a lot like coincidence, and it's like it's such a coincidence that you seem to be on this flight and be in the same area as
Mm.
this whole encounter that you just so happen to be here to basically put a halt on it and be like, I can take charge, I know what to do. But then what he doesn't know, but then I guess he does know, is that the mum, she's a like a plane engineer, so she knows the layout of the planes, meaning she kind of took charge of finding her own daughter. Maybe I should
Yeah.
back a little bit. Basically, this film's about this mum and daughter who are flying to the States with their uh dad's and like her husband's coffin because he's recently died, and
Yeah.
they're kind of going there to basically say goodbye and put him like have a funeral for him and all of that.
Mm.
But as that's happening, obviously they're going to the States, but and it's quite late, so the daughter's gone to sleep. But then when the mum wakes up, she's not there. And it's like for the audience, it's like, oh my gosh, was she ever there? Did we make that up for ourselves? Because it's only maybe the first 10 minutes that we see the daughter, and then it's like she's no longer there. And it's like, was she ever there? Was the mum making up because maybe she died with the dad and all of that?
That's so crazy though.
Yeah, literally, because one of the in workers, they were like, no, no, we called back to the boarding gates, and it's like, so yeah, your daughter never boarded the flight. And I'm like, oh, so if nobody else
Um,
has seen this, none of you on the plane saw this, and people back at like the gate said that they never like entered your daughter.
that's so trippy. I would be so scared. Imagine having that. Like, imagine you and your child, or like you went with somewhere with someone, somewhere, and like you get on a bus or you get on a plane or whatever, and all of it. If it was on a bus, it's like, how do you even lose them? That's like, I
For
don't even know
real.
how you still lose someone on a plane, but like, and then they're like, oh, you go to like the staff people, and they're like, oh, they're not there. Like,
Yeah,
just that person that you are with, they're not really, you know,
yeah.
they don't exist basically, or they're not, that's so, oh my God, I would be like, just to think of like any mums who watched that film, like imagining that, Jesus,
Yeah.
it must be terrifying.
No,
Like,
because like as I'm watching the film, like I'm not even watching it with my mum. I think when I was watching, I was actually ironing because I
mm,
needed to distract myself. But
yeah,
after the film, I just kind of stopped, turned the ironing board off, not the ironing board, the iron, and I turned it off because I was just so invested in the film and I'm watching it.
yeah,
It got to one stage where all the workers have been told to search the plane,
yeah,
and we see these two go in, but then it's like they're in a relationship, and it's like, oh, they're gonna kiss, they're not gonna actually look properly. It's like, oh, for God's sake, just look at the child. Like
yeah.
save it for 5 minutes time. And then we see another worker, and she and the mum we witnessed before
Mm-hmm.
don't really have the best relationship. Obviously, it's just a customer. They're not gonna have like you get on a plane, you're gonna have some rude customers, so it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's just that type of relationship. But then we see this worker, she goes to one part of the plane and she looks, but it's like you're not looking far enough, like just go a little bit further. And she
Mm.
turns back. And I'm like, no, imagine if the child is there. And then the camera puts us like at maybe like a wide shot at the front of the plane, and we see her. We just see the daughter just lying there, not dead or anything, just like sleeping. And I'm like, stop it. Stop it right now. Why does this worker have to
That's
stop
crazy.
walking?
That's
Yeah,
actually crazy
crazy.
though.
Yeah, because like that's maybe like 40 minutes into the film. So like the first 10 minutes we see the daughter. The next 5 minutes, daughter's gone. The 5 minutes after that, we're like, oh my days, was this daughter ever here? Has his mum gone crazy? Did this daughter die with the father? What is going on? Then the what do you call it? The pilot, he's like, no, we're gonna take it seriously. We're gonna search this plane for her because it's a plane. We're gonna find her. Up in the
Yeah,
air, she can't really gone anywhere. So like, okay, cool. We're gonna find her.
yeah.
Then sends all his workers to go look for her. One worker doesn't go far enough, and we, as the audience, can see the girl, and we're like, "Oh my God!" And we're just like sat here. We can't do anything. We can't scream at
That's
like the TV,
frustrating.
our
I hate
phones,
films
our
like that.
laptops. But yeah,
I
and
hate
but
films that do that to you. Like you can see something that they can't see, and it's just like, bruv, just check properly.
literally,
Just check properly. Like, stop being so dumb. Well, that's movie
no,
magic
but
for
for
you.
real.
Oh my
But
God.
yeah, it
That's
was.
so annoying. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, it's cool, but it was annoying. And like, oh, for the love of God! But I was like, okay, cool. She's safe. Kind of not the best place to be on a plane. If I was there, I'd probably be screaming my head off.
Mm,
But whatever. She's sleeping. She doesn't seem to see the issue. It's just more of the fact now they've searched the plane. Nobody's taking the mum seriously, and neither's the pilot anymore. It's like she's kind of crazy. She's just lost her husband. She's going through a lot. So and one of the other workers they called back and to check what happened. Apparently the daughter died with the dad. So it's like
yeah?
yeah, so the woman who
What?
went to go and check where the daughter is and didn't go
Hmm.
far enough, she called like and a few scenes previously, she called back to um where they took off from, and
Hmm.
she called to basically say, did you um enter this mum and daughter? And they obviously went no, and they went why? And apparently it's because the daughter died with the dad, meaning she's in the coffin with him, or like or another one at that. So we're like, oh, but wait,
Oh
no.
no.
So then this whole film, we're on this journey up and down. It's like, what? Who can we trust? We want to trust this mum because we formed a relationship with her. She's just
Yeah.
lost her daughter. She doesn't want anything, nothing. She just wants her. And then, obviously, because it's an American film, they have to bring religion and politics into it.
Oh no.
Obviously, after 9/11, people don't like some people. So we have these other two customers. This, just gonna put it, this white woman sees two brown people and is like, you have my daughter. Okay, fair enough. In the film at the start, we see mum and daughter in their apartment. Then we see two guys looking out. So two houses, mum and daughter in one of them, these two guys in another
Hmm.
house. The windows are like opposite. So
Hmm.
she just put two and two together. Two men, two men on the flight. It must be them. They must have taken my daughter. Not great.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so she's being a little bit racist. Not even a little, but she is. And then obviously she's in distress and it's a white woman, so people are gonna call out to her.
Yeah.
And then we have another, oh,
Yeah.
this man annoys me. We then had this other white guy. He sat down.
Mhm.
I knew it was you. I knew you took her daughter. I'm thinking, shut up. First of
Wait,
all,
what?
oh, yeah, let me backtrack. So probably just going off on tangent right now. So
You know, it sounds such like a 2000 film because you only could do this in 2000. If this was made now, oh my God, so many people would be flipping their head off. I mean,
no,
even back then, I think people would have been still flipping their heads off. But if Gen Z watched that, like, no, they're not having that. No one's
yeah,
having that. That would have been cancelled. That whole film would have been have to like the producers, the directors would have to apologize for that whole scene.
yeah, but I don't know. That's the thing. Like, it was a good scene because it brings in religion and politics. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it wasn't actually them, and she apologized to them, and they could see
Yeah.
how in distress she was about the whole thing, that she wasn't even thinking at all. And I'm not excusing for what she did, but it's like her mind didn't go there. She
Yeah.
just thought, I saw two men and they kind of fit the picture. Yes, it's not great at all, but
Mm,
she just went there. And then she started questioning the pilot, thinking, did you take my daughter? So she's
mm,
questioning everybody, to be fair. But to make clear of what this other white guy did, so it's basically mum sees two brown people on the flight. She puts two and two together what happened previously at the home. It's like, oh my days, you must have taken my daughter. She goes up to them. Another customer, another passenger on the flight, never spoken before. He seems to get up, looks at the two brown people, and it's like, oh, I knew you took the child. It's like, why are you getting involved? And now everyone on the flight are pointing fingers, and they're just like, yo, it wasn't us. Okay, they don't actually say yo, but they're like, it wasn't us. We didn't do anything. Here's
mm.
like our seat. Here's our proof that we were nowhere near this building,
Yeah.
but somewhere else in this country. Anyway, so I kind of like the fact that the film did involve politics and religion in that sense because it's like that still does happen nowadays, but you might be traveling somewhere and all of a sudden you're going to get held back because of this one person thinking you've done something. And I
Mm.
like that because that is true. But then we get kind of more back on track to the film and be like, where's our daughter? Our daughter, where's the woman's daughter? And then in the end, I'm not going to spoil it way too much, but one of the characters who you think you could trust was the one who took the daughter. And it's like, okay, yes.
Wait, who was the one? The police officer.
I say no more. But yeah, so it was very, I liked the film. It was a
Oh,
good,
wait, was that
yeah.
right?
I don't know. Were you right? You'd have to watch the film.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it was a good film. I would
Oh
say it's
good.
a must watch. It is up on my list.
Um, from what it sounds good. It sounds like a very I can't think of the word for it right now, but like it sounds like one of those films that you kind of probably don't need to see, but it would probably be a good one to watch.
Yeah, I think to be fair, if you watch the trailer and then from what I've shared with you, you could probably
Mm,
suss out what happens.
yeah,
But it's a good film, I would say. Because it's a
because
thriller, if
yeah,
you kind of remind yourself, you're always gonna know how it ends, but it's
yeah,
like get the journey on how you got there. And
mm,
that's what I like about thrillers is that
mm,
as soon as you find out who's done it, you're always gonna know that. But it's like,
mm,
how did you get there again? It's like, what's the journey of how you got to the end? And that's what I like about it. Because there's so many different characters, and obviously different characters
yeah,
means different personal issues that they've gone through and different just characteristics, and it brings it to the film. And it's like, oh, I like that.
yeah.
So it was good.
Sounds good. Is there anything you would change or
Um, wait, what did I say my first issue was? Oh, I don't know because my only issue was the fact that nobody else saw them on the plane, and it's
mm,
like, how did you not notice? But I don't know any other way to get around that because it's like
mm,
we need to believe, like audience needs to believe she has a daughter, but
yeah.
nobody on the plane needs to believe she has a daughter. So it's like two and two, and
Mm,
it's like we need to see one thing, but the characters on screen can't see her. And it's like, how do we do that? But I think the film did a good way of showing that.
mm,
So I don't think I would change anything.
you sure?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, what's your rating for it?
8 out of 10.
Yeah, wow, that's good. That's solid. Oh, then I need to watch it then.
Yes,
Yeah,
you do. Good
I'm
film.
sure I need to watch it. It's on my list. So,
Thank you for listening in to Frame Within a Frame Explained. Tune in next time.